Hello again, this is Dr. Destiny, and I am back to talk a little bit more about pain and talking about the natural remedies that we can use for pain instead of the conventional medicines, those over counter drugs and prescriptions. There are natural medicines that we can use, and we know where they came from. The divine higher power, the creator of the universe, God Himself. He's given us plants and herbs and seeds and berries and all those wonderful things. He said these herbs is nothing but medicine. That is our food. So we say, let medicine be our food and let our food be our medicine. See, I can relate to that. I can understand that. So people, I'm going to run across a few of the conventional medicines today and their response to pain. Now, let me tell you right now, it's been many years since I have taken any of these conventional medicines and over-counter prescriptions and things like that, over-counter drugs. I don't do it. It's been many years now. But so that means I'm telling you now because I'm going to mess up some names because these names are beyond my vocabulary. Pronunciation, okay? So let's talk quickly. I'm not going to hold you long. I have my hat on because I just came from outside, people. It is cold. And you know, cold, it can cause pain because right now pain is so bad because I am really cold. So I got my hat. My hands are freezing. So welcome in again, Dr. Destiny. I'm your holistic health nutrition coach. I teach about herbalist medicines. I teach about the whole man, the mind, the body, and the soul. So I'm always talking about becoming your best and better version of whom you're created to be. So I want to make you consciously aware that the Creator had designed us as whole beings. He has given us a diet. If you notice, I've read it in Genesis chapter 1, verse 29. And you need to go over there and read that and take serious a look at that. And just talk to the divine higher power. Talk to your God, and just ask them to teach you and show you what this verse actually means. But our medicines is already being given to us and it's in our foods. And we have to learn the right foods. We have to learn where the nutrition values are. We have to learn where we get those vitamins, those minerals, and all that, So people, I'm going to talk about the conventional side of drugs and medicines that people respond to with pain. I've gone that way for many, many years because I knew no better. This is all I was taught. But as I become to grow and learn more about my higher self and learn more about the Creator and the divine higher power and His plan for our lives, then I began to take that more serious and I began to do extensive study and research and sitting in nature and talking with divine higher power to show me the right path, the right plans, how you create for us to be, how we're supposed to live, how our foods we're supposed to be eating, what medicines are we supposed to be taking. He always bring me back to the garden. That was in Genesis chapter 1, we're talking about the Garden of Eden. And this is our medicines. Our medicines is out there in nature. And He's given that for us. So let me talk about these conventional medicines and things that these pharmacies and all they get their hands on, they create these things. Now I got the book again, Nature's Remedy to Conquer Pain by Terry Lemerond, and I'm going to drop his information again in the description box, and I want you to please go over there and read it. Go over to his website. He also has a YouTube channel as well, but he has a website that will go into deep details, and he has some awesome videos that you can watch and learn more about the natural way of health and healing. And then you can also go to his terrytalks.com. He has so much information to share. So I'm going to read a little inserts from his book. Like I said, these names, when it comes to these conventional drugs and medicines, I'll mess them up, but don't charge that to my heart. Now, Terry says, I'm going to read from the book. As you might imagine, conventional medicine does not offer many good answers to pain. Some are moderately helpful, some are worthless, and some carry heavy side effects, and some are downright deadly. Of course, Terry says, it depends on where your pain is and how long you have had the pain. For example, surgery for your back has been called slam surgery that rarely has benefits and may simply pave the way to additional surgeries and eventually to spinal fusion. However, surgery to replace a knee joint that is bone on bone can be a long-term solution for many people. Aside from surgery and physical therapy, which is sometimes very effective for the back pain, and a few physical devices like TENS units, conventional medicines has little to offer chronic sufferers except pain relieving drugs. So, Dr. Destiny, what are these pain relieving drugs? So you go in that drugstore all the time and you reach on those shelves. What you're looking for? Pain relief. You want something to stop the pain. There's Tylenol. These are those conventional medicines I'm talking about. Those over-the-counter Tylenol, Advil, Motrin, Accelerant. I don't even make them up, but just different things. So let's talk about Tylenol now. Excuse me for the names. Now, Tylenol, it may seem mild and innocent, my advice, but your doctor says, take a couple of Tylenols and you'll be fine. Chances are you won't be fine. The amphetamine is also known as prazolam, and it's one of the genetic names for Tylenol. So you will find that not just in the Tylenol, but in a whole lot of different other types of drugs as well. And you will find those ingredients. I'm saying amphetamine. It's also known as the paracetamol. And that is a generic brand name for Tylenol. It is also the most widely used pain relief medication in the United States. Nearly a quarter of us use it occasionally, and some use it daily. It is also the leading cause of liver failure in the United States. Tylenol is one of the leading cause of liver failure. I want you to pay attention now. Listen to this. Even when taken according to the doctor's orders, this over-the-counter NSAID, that's just it's capital N, capital S, capital A, capital I, D. That's called non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug. It can be deadly, people. So seriously deadly. It counts for 1,000 calls to poison control centers annually. And it's responsible for about 60,000 emergency room visits and hundreds of deaths every single year. That is serious. Those are serious numbers, but this is happening to people who's taking these over-the-counter drugs like Tylenol. A lot of times the pain is so intense and the pain hurts so much, all you want to do is be out of the pain. You don't want to die, you just want to relieve the pain. So the scripture, the bottle says take 2 every 8 hours, and we find ourselves taking 2 every 4 hours. And sometimes instead of taking 2, you might just say, I just got to get rid of the pain, may grab 4 and 5. But that's just intensifying the effects on your body that those drugs, those over-the-counter drugs, are going to have on your body. Now listen, even its milder side effects and antimorphinol can also cause gastro ulcers, heart attacks, and strokes. It also added to more than 600 over-the-counter and prescription medications, so it's pretty much everywhere. And like I say, you'll find it pretty much in a whole lot of different other drugs under different names as well. So we have to start reading the inscriptions. Now, 2015, Terry says, a British study warned that acetaminophen is more deadly than medical science once thought, even when it is taken at recommended doses. So let me tell you about some other NSAIDs, okay? That's just abbreviation for non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. Now, Terry goes on to say, he said, I know it is easy to think that over-the-counter pain relievers are safe, but that could not be further from the truth. Ibuprofen is the most common brand name, the Motrin that you take, and even your aspirins that seem mild, they work to relieve many minor aches and pains and also reduce inflammation, whether they come from an acute injury or a long-standing problem. They work to bring down a fever, the aspirin does. And he said, for decades, many of us have been told by our doctors to take a baby aspirin daily to prevent heart disease because it prevents blood clotting, a major factor in heart attacks and strokes. Now, aspirin is a double-edged sword. Terry goes on to say, yes, there is strong evidence that supports the low dose aspirin, like those consumed by almost 1/3 of Americans over 40, to reduce the risk of death from a heart attack or stroke. But a recent pivotal study from George Washington Medical School concluded that the risk of serious gastrointestinal bleeding caused by aspirin was greater than its heart protective benefits, calling into serious question the nearly universal aspirin recommendation. Now, Terry says, in fact, those who took aspirins regularly had double the risk of major gastrointestinal bleeding than the non-aspirin users, leading to more than 3,000 deaths a year. It's a serious, people. You better start reading. The risks increase as aspirin users age, rising to 5% of those over 85 experiencing major gastrointestinal bleeds from aspirin uses with prescribed limits. It is reasonable and prudent to conclude that the long-term aspirin use for all of the purpose carries the same risk of gastrointestinal bleeding and even potential death. Now, people, that if they don't get your attention, then I don't know what will. I know we don't want to suffer, but I gave you some natural herbs that we can get right out of our own natural urban garden that the Creator gave us. And I told you yesterday about those, and I can show you where you can purchase those things from. And I told you the information, which I put in the description box. If you're serious and you want to try a more safer and healthier way, and not with all that side effects and the chance of taking a risk of your own life, then you will go the natural way, the way that the Creator has already provided for you to do this. Now, Terry goes on to say, be aware, if you take ibuprofen, which is that Motrin or Advil, and naproxen, which is a lead for pain relief, then you get the risk of acetaminophen and aspirin. This all rolled into one. Then the increased risk of liver problems is more serious. Also, the risk of increased problems with your heart attack and stroke. He also said that gastrointestinal bleeding and your kidney failure added in for good measure, because now you have made a really big mixture of all this, and you're using these types of over-counter prescriptions, these NSAIDs, and you're putting your life and your health into a more bigger risk of suffering with some kind of heart disease, some kind of stroke, some kind of things, or even death, people. Now, as far as back as 2015, the United States Drug Administration took the rare step of strengthening its warning of the increased risk of heart attack and stroke for long-term users of non-aspirin NSAIDs. Terry says, of course, the ibuprofen and the naproxen are widely available over the counter. You can get them all the time, as much as you want, anytime you want. But the thing is, they're not the best choice for your health. And when you use these over-counter drugs and the prescriptions trying to get rid of that pain, you're going to put your life in jeopardy, your health in jeopardy, people. But Terry says there are also prescription strength NSAIDs like, now I'm going to mess these up, Celebrex, and Cataflane, Voterin, and other NSAIDs that carry the same risk when used in an extended period of time. You said, well, no, it doesn't. I've been taking this and never bothered me. Okay, maybe, but you keep adding them eventually, you don't never know. And then you keep you know, up putting a different amount every time, increasing your amounts. What I'm saying, you're taking more risk, and then sometimes we get so much pain, we hurt so bad, we forget the number of pills that we have already taken. And I'm telling you, people, it is very serious. People are dying. You heard the numbers. You heard these numbers. Go and do a research studies of these numbers, and you will find out that these numbers that Terry is giving you here in this book is absolutely, these numbers are true. And we don't want that to happen to us, ourselves, our families, and you know what I'm saying, our kids. So people, let's become wise. Let's become more intentional about our healthy self. Let's try the creator's way. Let's go out and let's start getting natural herbs and spices and berries and seeds, whatever it takes to make your natural medicines the wholesome and healthy way. So we won't come in contact or effect with the drugs and the chemicals and the toxins and all that they put in these conventional medicines, these over-the-counter medicines. And now I'm not going to talk about the prescriptions that you got to go over to the counter and give to your pharmacy. You're going into deep drugs then, and we may cover that at another time. So in the meantime, people, we're going to talk about these opioids as well. These are serious drugs, serious situations can happen over a period of time when you start taking more extensive drugs for those pain. And I know you heard of some of them, you know, like oxydone and, you know, stuff like methadone and all those, like codeine and all that, and morphine. Those are serious drugs, and we probably say, well, the over-the-counter drug is not working, so I need something stronger. When your doctor started writing those prescriptions for these opioids and giving you these, you really had crossed the line, and you're stepping over into an early death. It's serious, or you become addicted on drugs, and that is a very serious situation, a problem. I'm out. Pay attention to information. Study. It's out there. Just go learn. Pay attention and say, you know, let me check this out. Let me go over here and check this out. I'm just not stop at one research. We're going to go as much as we can so we can compare the information, so we make sure we have that inside of us saying, okay, I'm agreeing with this. I'm seeing this. But anyway, I got to go. I'm going to see you in the next video, people. Nobody don't want to be in pain. Nobody wants to hurt. But if you want to be free out of pain, I would do it the wholesome and healthy way that the Creator Universe has already designed. Like I said, I was telling you already, there's 3 ingredients. You go back to the first 2 videos. 3 natural herb ingredients, people, that you can use. And like I said, that's the curcumin, and that's your basil oil, as well as your black sesame seed oil. And those 3 mixtures put together, people, Terry says it is so good and so much better for your body and your health, and it will cure the pain, that acute pain just goes away. Now, I show you where I have purchased those. I've been using them myself, and it has helped me as well as other people that I know, even my own daughter. And I tell you, people, we're going to see you in the next video. Watch out for these over-the-counter prescriptions, these conventional drugs, and people, please don't cross over into opioids and taking all those prescriptions, because those are some heavy names, some heavy hitters, and that's going to take your body to a place sometimes that you don't want to go. Namaste, lovely people. I'm going to see you at the next video.